think the most challenging part was actually approaching people with confidence, and I didn't realize that depending on how much confidence you have, it'll affect the way they act towards you. When you live in a city, particularly since there are a lot of people, you feel kind of powerless if you don't like something going on in your community, but it's really important to know that the city hall is there for you, so you shouldn't feel like city hall is a barrier or government officials are a barrier, but they're meant to empower you. So if you feel something is wrong, it's really up to you to take the initiative and change that. Yeah, it was a school assignment, but it also got you out of the classroom. So you can kind of see when your teacher teaches you something, what they actually want you to do with the information you learn and how you can take it out of the classroom as well. I'm not so sure yet, but I go every day and I'm like, is that a weed or is that a flower? And I have like this big debate in my head, but we'll just have to wait and see. Maia Zhang, Urban Meadows.
Hello. When people think of Newark, they think of violence, broken car windows, empty buildings, and locking the doors and rolling up the windows when you drive through. When I think of Newark, I think of growth, potential, comfort, and most importantly, home. I really wanted to focus on bridging this gap between perspectives with my 20% project. Sorry, I'm blanking. So I wanted to find a way to revitalize my community, and I turned towards flowers because what better way to bring life than plant life? My block used to be pretty barren and gray, and ever since my father started planting flowers every year, I've noticed a great change. My block is much more vibrant and alive, and I feel like it's become more of a home. So I see the power that flowers really can have. For my lot, obviously, I have to plant it somewhere. I chose the historic Westinghouse site. I have a personal attachment to the site because I've been walking past it for over 7 years to and from school. And most importantly, this site is near the commuter hub of Newark Broad Street Station. So people going to and from their busy jobs in the city can look outside the window and maybe see some beautiful flowers and reconsider their preconceptions of my city. So as you can see, get out of the way, the lot before is a mess. There was garbage everywhere, and it was messy and lots of weeds. So obviously, the first order of business was cleaning up. It was kind of funny what types of trash we found in the lot. We found lots and lots of beer bottles and paper bags. We found a pair of crutches, a mannequin hand. So yeah, it was kind of entertaining, but a little bit sad because if local Newarkers couldn't learn to respect their own city, how could I expect out-of-towners to? We collected over 12 bags of garbage, and afterwards, oh, yeah, this is us picking up garbage, and I thought it was pretty funny how it says, choose respect, give it, get it. Our dog came with us, and afterwards, as you can see, it was very clean, respectable, and Oscar, the dog, is happy. So the next order of business would be fundraising. The wildflower seeds themselves cost about $1,800, so I had my fundraising in 2 phases. I had a program at school and an online campaign. The school campaign I called Bring Your Own Teacup, or BYOT for short. Pretty much anyone interested could bring in old Tupperware, mugs, ceramics, and I would plant a succulent in it. So this was a great way for me to reach out to the community, get a little money, and people could bring some life home. As you can see, a lot of people were really enthusiastic, and that was great. But the bulk of my money came from the online GoFundMe. This was an online campaign, and it's important to be aware with online campaigning that the website will take a percentage of your fundraiser, so you have to kind of aim your goal a little bit higher. So I set my goal to $2,300. This would include the wildflowers and the equipment. And I'm happy to say that over 50 people, one person even from Switzerland, helped me raise over $2,375. And this was the first part of my project that I felt like I was in control and I had to take initiative, because if I didn't approach people directly by email and show them why my campaign was worth it, how could I expect them to trust me with their money? the next step was the interview. This was definitely the most challenging part for me, and I went in very nervous and anxious that I would end up wasting my interviewee's time and just kind of look like a fool. I chose to interview Samantha Richardson from the Greater Newark Conservancy. This is a nonprofit that helps bring nature into the downtown of Newark. So I went in and met Samantha, and she would have me call her Sam. She was one of the nicest people I'd ever met, and I was very fortunate to have been able to interview her. I found that I didn't really need my pre-prepared questions, and I closed my computer. We could have a nice walk through the gardens, and it was more like a conversation than an interview. And so I left that day feeling kind of silly with myself. I realized that I had to have more trust, first of all, in Samantha, because what she really wanted to do was help me along my path and push me up rather than see me fail. I also had to have trust in myself, because I knew what I was doing, and I knew what I wanted to accomplish and what I could do, so it was a matter of conveying that to other people. And it was okay for me to have pride in my project and how I carried it out. Oh, this is planting. I think planting was the most enjoyable part of the campaign for me, because it was one of the first times, I could get outdoors away from the computers and the messages and just kind of enjoy nature and all the beautiful seeds. This is, my dog also came with me again. Yeah, he's like part of the team. And I think this change of attitude after the interview kind of also changed my outlook on the final product. Because of course the final product would be the wildflowers growing. But as often is the case, dreams don't always turn out how we imagine them in our heads. So I had to learn to be okay with accepting less than what was in my head, and learn that I'd actually already gained something very important from this project. I'd gain a sense of self-confidence and self-awareness that I knew I could bring with me into future college life, professional life, and just like life in general. And something I really want to underscore about this project is that it was a grassroots operation. So it really started from an idea and became so much more. I often find that in urban environments, especially cities such as Hoboken or Newark, citizens can feel like they don't really have much power, and that their lives rely on the decisions of the distant city hall run by faceless politicians. But through this project, I learned that citizens can become impactful influences in their own community, often totally circumnavigating the government at all. And it sounds cheesy, but I say it from a place of sincerity that every journey does begin with a single step. The first step can seem like the most intimidating part, but a first step could be as simple as putting a flower pot outside your house, or picking up a piece of trash and putting it in the garbage can where it belongs. So I encourage all of us to become catalysts for change, and really, no matter how daunting it is, take that first step. Thank you. Questions? Mr. Osa.
Maia, I'm wondering if you could explain who owns the property, right, and how that influenced your thinking during the process.
I forgot to mention that this lot is privately owned, so I had to obviously get permission, and the owners of the lot were rather hesitant because they wanted me to know that they could choose to develop this lot next month or 5 years from now. So that was always kind of a variable in my project that I had to be aware of. Nothing was ever for certain. Any other? Oh, yes?
I don't suppose anyone from that company contributed?
No. No. Ms. Magalovi?
So did you get comments from other neighbors about how much they liked what you did, or did you get any feedback from the others?
Oh, yeah. It was really great. A bunch of neighbors contributed, and I kind of found that, like, before I kind of stood on the sidelines, which is not something I wanted to do, but during this project I took the initiative, and neighbors, I feel like, took me more seriously for the first time, rather than like that girl who lives next door. Yes, Ms. Monica.
When you say we cleaned up and we planted, who works with you on this?
My dog. No, I'm kidding. My dad and my mom went with me. Yeah.
How did you choose the plants that you put?
Good question. So this lot, pretty much the lot is not dirt, it's rubble from the building that was demolished a couple years ago. So I had to choose some durable flowers that could, last the heat and the open sun, and that's why drought-resistant wildflowers seem like a logical choice. Yeah.
There is a member of the Mayor's Council who represents youth, and she's a sophomore in college. It's the first time that the council has had that member. It would be interesting to know if you could make connections with her and see what other projects are happening around the city, because I know she's involved in doing some work like that.
Thank you. I didn't know that. Yes.
How large was the lot?
The lot is about 2 acres, but for some reason the developers planted grass on half of it and left the other part blank. I don't really know why, but so we ended up planting on about 1 acre.
Is it going to require maintenance all the time? Like in the summer, do you go out there in the winter? Or?
I think the main the main hurdle with the wildflowers is when they're first sprouting, and we've been really lucky this year to get kind of like misty weather that people normally hate but flowers love. So after they start coming out of the ground, they're going to be pretty much set. Aria.
Do you plan on continuing or growing or developing this project in any way?
Yeah, definitely. If this year, which I hope it will, if this year the plants don't succeed as well on the lot as I'd hoped, I'll definitely replant. And I really wanted to expand it to other lots. Sometimes I'll be driving through Newark, not me, but my parents will be driving through Newark, and I'll see a bunch of empty lots and wonder like, maybe I could plant there. So it's somewhere where I would want to expand, yes. Any other questions? Oh, okay, yes.
Did you use up all the money?
No, actually, good question. We have a couple hundred left over, which I thought it would be great to help kind of spruce up the outside of Hudson, the pots a little bit. I think that'd be a good way to use the money. Yeah. Yes.
I just want to make a comment. I remember the week you were selling this plant. It was just a beautiful week. Everybody was so into it. Like, I don't know how many you sold at school, but it was very nice to have that in the school.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. Yes.
I was thinking back to Fred's presentation yesterday, and I wonder how many of the plants you chose are going to provide a hosting environment for the bees that she said.
Oh, yeah, I wonder. It's actually pretty interesting. There's a lot of this clover here. I did not plant that, and they've been like growing by themselves, a lot of them. So it feels almost like a little bit purple. So I think the bees would love that. There's lots of honey in there. Yeah. Yes.
The seeds are they regenerating? Is the kind of stuff that you got would be, they'll drop seeds and grow again next year? Is that what you're working on?
Yeah, they're supposed to drop seeds and come back next year. Yes.
I wanted to piggyback off the comment about the succulents that you did within the school, because you didn't just make your community prettier, you made Hudson prettier too. I now have my little succulent in my office, and I love taking care of them. I walk around the school and I see them grow. School just makes me so happy, so thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you. You for participating. Any other questions? Yes, Mr.
You know
Hassan.
anything about soil chemistry? I don't know what kind of soil it was. Maybe it was, clover brings nitrogen.
There must have been lots of nitrogen because there was clovers. But I don't know. I'm sorry.
So the plants grew well.
Yeah, they did. Yes.
So when you pass by this beautiful garden that you created, what is the first thing that comes up to your mind?
Well, actually, I think it was this morning. Yeah, it was pretty great. There was so there was some dead stalks that I think still had seeds in them, and there was like this really interesting songbird with yellow wings and like black stripes I'd never seen before, and so I thought it was really great to see. Although it's like a small thing, that like the reason the songbird was there was because we actually did something. So yeah. Is that all the questions? Yes. Okay.